are back for the first off season of Fantasy Football. Welcome, Ditka, and welcome, User Not Found.
Happy to be here.
So
I'm retired.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. Is it a little sore subject still?
I'm not getting paid for this, so come on, let's go. Let's get this over with.
Jeez, so much going on. I mean, you got the stimmy money and you're still getting angry. All right, so let's get into it. Today we're going to be talking about the keepers. So this year we implemented keepers. We're going to figure out who keeps who. So we've all analyzed, because we're all analysts at this point. James was one, but he retired. And we're going to say who we think which owner would keep which player. So that being said, let's just jump right on into it. I think that I would keep Darren Waller. I think that he is a top tight end. He is going to be my 6th round draft pick because I picked him in the 7th round. And to be able to get a top tier tight end in the 6th, I think is an absolute steal. Now, James, you were saying that I'm going to keep Koo, the kicker.
That's correct. If we kind of look at last year in our conversation about, do we keep kickers? Do we not keep kickers? Someone spending, I think, what was it, like $30 on Steven Gostkowski a couple years. Was that 2019 or 2020? I don't remember. It was,
I think, the $14 bid, as we call it in the biz.
Yes, that's what it was. There's value in kickers, obviously, and there's no more valuable kicker than Younghoe Koo here. Every time the Falcons got it in, even beyond the 40, he was lights out. So I think, I think there was some weeks where he was like your highest scoring player, and we were all like, what the hell is happening? So I think this is a good keep, overall.
All right. I love it. James, and not James, he doesn't exist anymore. Justin, a.k.a. Ditka.
I'm going to go with Justin Herbert because, of course, what was he, the rookie of the year?
Mm-hmm.
So that's who I'm going to go with because I didn't know who else to pick on Adam's team.
Yeah,
so
that's great input, Justin. Thank you.
Yeah. And I prefer to be called not an analyst, but an analyst.
Oh, my bad. I'll make sure it's like oh god, I don't even want to get into that. All right, Jeff Hedges. I think that Jeff Hedges will keep A.J. Brown. Yes, he has competition from Julio Jones, but at the end of the day, I think that A.J. Brown is a top 5 wide receiver, and I think he picked him in like the 5th round. So that's an absolute steal in my mind. User not found?
Right here, I think Jeff is going to kind of keep Miles Sanders. He's obviously the best player on his team because he has nobody. He has nobody else on his team. That's the only running back that he has. So I think that's just a pretty slam dunk keep right there.
And then Justin.
And once again, I did a lot of research for this pick, and I chose nobody for Jeff Hedges because who was even really on Jeff Hedges' team? Does anybody know? He actually had a pretty good regular season, but I can't even name a single player on his team. I don't even know any of the players on his roster at all. So there you go. There's my pick.
Very deep analyst action from Ditka right there. Now, local fat kid. This one was interesting because it was a tough one for me to do. So I chose nobody. I think that this is really an interesting dilemma my brother has. He can keep Tyreek Hill, but Tyreek Hill is going to cost him a 1st-round draft pick given the fact that he drafted him in the 2nd round. He could keep Aaron Rodgers, but we don't even know if Aaron Rodgers is playing football right now. And then other than that, I think he has Logan Thomas. So it's going to be a kind of a tough one for him. James, who are you thinking?
Yeah, following up your analysis, your great analysis there, I think in this case, I think we should give David a stimulus and give him a reimbursement of $50 at Fab for not keeping anybody, because I don't think anyone on his team right now is keepable, and I think if he does keep someone, it's going to be more of a liability than it is an asset.
Oh.
So I'm proposing a new rule that if there's a year for a player to not have anyone good on his team by the end of the year, we should maybe offer them an extra $50 in Fab for some stimulus action to go on in the players market.
Ooh, getting that free agency money. Justin, what are your thoughts on that?
On the extra Fab, I think that everybody in the league should get $33 in Fab from the commissioner. I feel like legislation should be passed similar to the COVID stimulus that James mentioned earlier.
Okay.
So I think everybody in the league should be able to get this money.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to frustrate, but now should
Across
there be a limit?
board.
Should there be a if you already have this much fab, should you not be able to get that $33 stimuli, or are we just going to give it to everyone?
Maybe we should do it based on who we think is rich in the league and who's not. So if you have a higher amount of trophies, I'd probably get less fab. Lawson would get less fab. Scott would get less fab. But people like Adam Pemberton, James Weingand, BJ, they would get the most fab because they have zero Fox championships.
Like the analysis. Now, Justin, who do you think my brother's going to keep?
Well, I picked this simply because of the name. It's Fat Randy for local fat kid, because they just remind me of each other, and and who doesn't love good old Fat Randy Bullock?
Is he still on the team? I think they drafted a kicker
I have
this
no
year.
idea. Once again, I do zero football research in the offseason, so I couldn't tell you who's still on the Bengals and who's not.
Speaking of zero off-season
Is
research,
Carson Palmer the quarterback still?
Oh, I hate you. Speaking of off-season research, we're going to go on to Ditka himself. I think that Ditka... Oh, that's not Ditka. That's James. Oh, snap. I put the names wrong on this one. This one is actually James instead of Ditka. So imagine that saying user not found instead of James. I think the reason I mixed that up, though, is I said that he's going to keep Gaskin because that would be a 9th-round draft cost. But, James, you said that you're going to keep Derrick Henry. Explain.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, if you guys don't remember, I had Derrick Henry in 2019. So I think because of that rule, I had Derrick Henry first before Justin. I think I have more opportunity to keep Derrick Henry. So I'm going to keep Derrick Henry. And that's just the rules. I don't make them. That's just the way it is.
So it was just a technicality where you get a 2019 player even though you didn't have him last year.
Correct. Correct. I'm trying to abide by Lawson's thinking about this because I mean he brought up a really good point last year where we could just pick free agents out of thin air. So I'm just gonna go to my 2019 Derrick Henry pick and keep him, and so Justin can't get him.
Justin, what would you do if James just magically kept him?
Well, that's actually not a possible option for him because Derrick Henry's currently on my team. So I have the option of keeping him. And I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to stir up all these emotions in me to force me to pick Derrick Henry, and then I lose $33 in fab, I lose a pick, and then my team ends up sucking in the process. But I'm not going to fall for it. I'm going to choose somebody else besides Derrick Henry, or maybe he wants me to do that so he can have Derrick Henry. So it's some sort of reverse psychology, and because of that, I am going to choose Derrick Henry. But I think that James is actually going to go with Josh Allen. Allen, of course, just had a monstrous season. The Bills you got to love the Bills. Everybody loves the Bills. They're a fun team to watch, and everybody else in that league now sucks, including the Patriots. So I'm all about Josh Allen and the Bills, and I think that's who James is going to end up picking because he's also probably going to get Derrick Henry, though, in the very first pick because I'm probably not going to keep him.
That's true. I mean, Josh Allen was a 13th overall pick for James last year, or 13th round overall pick. So it's a pretty good steal there. Now to the real Ditka. Ditka, you said you were going to keep DK Metcalf.
It's the most logical choice for me to pick DK Metcalf. Of course, I could go with Derrick Henry. The other option would be Justin Jefferson, who would be forced into the last pick for me as terms of a keeper goes. But I think DK Metcalf, he was the number 1 wide receiver last year. He makes the most sense. So I'm probably going to go with the pick that makes the most sense, unless, of course, something crazy happens and I change my mind.
Okay. I feel like you're trying to do some reverse psychology of your own, trying to get us away from Justin Jefferson. You're definitely going to pick Justin Jefferson is my thought.
No, I'm going with DK Metcalf.
That's a total lie. I think you're going to go Derrick Henry. I think that you're going to... with A.J. Brown and Julio, I really struggle to see a world where you can actually stop Derrick Henry. He had 2,000 yards last year, and now they can't load the box against Derrick Henry. I don't see a world where Derrick Henry is not like a top 3 back this year. It is very hard to see a world where Derrick Henry is not a top 3 back. And James, you're saying
I also think that Justin will keep Derrick Henry as well.
And And if you see here,
So we're
Justin,
both picking Derrick Henry.
you're both.
That's correct.
We're both keeping.
Yeah, you can have one half. I can have the other half.
But
You know
in
what
this
I'm saying?
picture,
I mean, he's still probably even half of him is still a number one pick, I guess.
honestly, yeah, it would be. It would still probably be worth a late rounder, first round. Down to Geoff Jenkins from the Lockdown Reds podcast. I'm thinking that he's going to keep Antonio Gibson. He had him as an 8th rounder. He picked him right before me. I picked Zach Moss, unfortunately. I really wish I could have had him. Very jealous that he's probably going to keep him. James, you're saying Jared Goff. Very interesting.
Yeah, I'm saying Jared Goff here because, as we all know now, he's on the Detroit Lions,
Oh.
and as we all know, as of I think it was like 2014 or 2015, that was the first time they went 4-0 since 1984, and I think they can have a chance to do that again with Jared Goff, and I think he's going to keep him.
Those are good facts, James. I'm glad that you're doing your research, unlike Dick over here. It seems like
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
taking the time.
I was reading my 2016 fantasy magazine, and they mentioned that stat, and I was like, wow, this is going to be a great year for him.
Wow, you upgraded to the 2016 version. That's good to hear.
Hey, you got to keep up with the times.
All right, Dicko. You're saying that he keeps a fry box?
I am saying that, and I think that's the wrong picture because he's going to actually not go with the Buffalo chicken fry box. He's going to keep the s'mores fry box instead. Of course, Jeff did not have a good season last year, so he needs some positive vibes heading in the next. And he had a delicious s'mores fry box at opening day in about 20-30 degree weather back in what was that, end of March, I guess, beginning of April.
Yep.
So that's who he's gonna keep, and I think it's gonna carry him to a playoff berth as well.
That makes sense.
Safe play. That's a safe play.
All right, we're talking about Steve Harvey. Justin and I both think that he's going to take the sacrifice, even though he might be at the end of the first round picking. We don't know yet. We both think he's going to keep McCaffrey for the $33 punch. I mean, I feel like it's kind of stupid not to. You get the number one pick overall, even though you're a late round draft pick. Yeah, it's $33 in Fab, but McCaffrey has been carrying that Mondo load. Any other comments, Dicko?
I hate Scott. That's my only comment.
What? Who is it? What's name?
Steve, I'm sorry. I
There
meant
we
to say
go.
Steve. I
Thank
hate
you.
Steve.
And then James.
Yeah, I thought he was going to keep Kelsey probably because I think he drafted him, what, 3rd or 4th?
Yeah, he
And
kept him
obviously,
second round.
second round? That means he gets rid of his first round. Fuck, I regret this decision wholeheartedly.
Well, first rounder Kelsey, he goes.
I'd change it to CMC probably.
Okay, that's a good question though. Where, like, if Kelsey is available this year, what's the earliest you guys would draft him?
I mean, he got him at the very end of the second last year, right? He was like
Yes, he was the
around the
210 pick.
snakes.
He was the 210.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, yeah, 2nd or 3rd probably somewhere around there. I mean, he's the number one tight end, and he is always targeted by Patrick Mahomes, so it's kind of like another wide receiver, honestly.
Yeah.
Picking tight ends goes against my strategy because there's only 2 good ones in the league, and so I would not pick Travis Kelce at all.
Wait, do you not consider Travis Kelsey part of the 2 good tight ends?
I do consider him as part of the 2 good tight ends, but I don't feel like I should waste a 2nd or 3rd round pick on a tight end, no matter how good they are. I'd rather go with one of the trash ones, which all of the other 8 owners in the league will have, and it's not really going to affect me during the season at all.
So you don't think Darren Waller is in that tier anymore?
I guess you have Darren Waller and Travis Kelce, and who else? I
Kittle.
don't do any research, as I said.
All right, let's go on to the Black Cat himself, Adam Lawson. I think that he's going to keep Toby Gerhart. Last year, Lawson really just pretty much traded his entire team away. And if you don't remember the year with Toby Gerhart, Lawson was hyping Toby Gerhart up to be one of the best. Oh, hey, Google. Oh, shit, it's listening to me. So, yeah, I think he's going to keep Toby Gerhart.
Yeah, kind of on the same page here. I think he's going to keep Lamar Jackson because I've never heard one bad thing about Lamar Jackson out of Lawson's mouth.
Yeah, I remember people trying to trade for him, and he just wasn't having it.
I chose nobody for Adam Lawson because he traded away his entire team to BJ, and then I think to a couple of other owners as well. I guess the keeper league that we're doing is probably the only chance Lawson will ever have at an actual like real 3P, because he can keep a player 2 additional seasons and have them 3 years in a row. So yeah, that was my choice.
Like the analysis. Then Team Iceland, we all said the same thing. We said Calvin Ridley. This is kind of an easy one. Lawson traded. Actually, this should just be Team Iceland is keeping Adam Lawson, because literally Lawson traded everyone on his team away for Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Leonard Fournette, Latavius Murray. Let me see if I can remember the other ones. James White, and then Alexander Madison. Only one of those was valuable. Only one, to recap. And he traded Chubb and Eckler and everybody away. He was trying to make a run, but it was just not the play last year. It definitely burned him. All right, Bale Bottoms. I think that he's going to keep Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert has Jalen Hurts, and they don't really have any passing options. They did just draft the Heisman, Devontae Smith, and he could keep Goddard, I think, at an 18th round draft cost. I'm lowering it down. We're not going to be having 4 extra spots this year, but since we are doing keeper, it's going to be, I think we used to do 16 as like our original roster setup. It's going to be 18 instead of 20, what we had last year. So I think that he's going to keep Goddard as a last overall pick, which is a steal.
And then I thought that he's going to keep Russell Wilson. It's pretty obvious that Russell Wilson scores at least 30 points a week. It's really just in the cards. Every game, you can't really, go up to the TV and be like, yeah, well, Russell Wilson's about to have a bad night. So it's pretty slam dunk for Bailey, I think.
Dicka?
I'm also going to go with Russell Wilson again, because somebody else had chosen him. James did, and I didn't feel like looking up Dave Bailey's team. So, and Russell Wilson is also my favorite player in the NFL, him and both Patrick Mahomes. And I think Russell Wilson is going to be thrown to the person that I keep this season, DK Metcalf, and it's going to be a match made in heaven all season long.
You want to let everyone know the person that I keep.
Yeah, it's definitely not Justin Jefferson. Jesus, you can just tell us,
not
Justin.
Derrick Henry.
So that being
So
said,
do we want to announce the rule about keepers right here, right now? Like when we announce who we're keeping?
So actually, I've definitely given a lot more thought to this. I've talked about it and want to hear your guys' thought. I think that we should reveal the keepers. Like, we can talk about this because it's not like we have it really set in stone. We're kind of rolling with this one. I think we need to reveal the keepers the day of the draft. I
agree.
I think that makes it way more exciting. I think that it puts people on their toes thinking they might get somebody like Justin Jefferson, hypothetically speaking, because Justin's just pumping that story right now. Yeah, what do you guys think?
No, I agree. I think, like you said, keeps everyone on their toes, and it kind of, makes everyone do some more analysis on like Ditko every year on their plan Bs and whatnot. So I don't know. It should be interesting.
Dicka?
I also agree. Anything that we can do to make draft day itself better and more of an event and provide some entertainment, I think that's what we should do. So I'm all in favor of revealing them at the draft.
Right on.
I'm just throwing this one out here. I just thought about this one, but we also get tattoos of our keepers.
Now we're taking it up a notch. I like the idea. I love the idea. Let's change it.
I think we all know where James's tattoo would go.
Oh, straight Derrick Henry dong right there. The last question I have to wrap this one up, gentlemen. Justin was kind of mentioning it. What quarterback wide receiver stack do you think would be the most successful in fantasy football 2021?
Oh, Tennessee.
So you think Ryan Tannehill?
Without a doubt, Patrick
you think
Mahomes
Ryan
and
Tannehill
Tyreek
and
Hill.
AJ Brown?
Oh yeah, that trio will go off.
No, so I'm talking about all for your fantasy team. What stack would be the best? Just one wide receiver, one quarterback.
Well, it won't happen, but Mahomes and Hill.
Yeah,
Mahomes
that
and
won't
Hill.
happen.
Like somebody won't get both players?
Yeah, that's not. That's gonna be tough.
Why wouldn't they?
I mean, that's gonna be a 2nd round draft pick and a 4th round draft pick. That's a lot.
I mean,
I'm keeping Mahomes and I'm drafting Tyreek Hill first.
Or I was about to say David could keep Hill and then pick Mahomes. And,
Honestly,
on
that's
the,
not a
on
bad
the
play
turn
for my brother,
on
though.
the turnaround. Yeah, that'd be insane actually.
If he picked like Mahomes in the 4th round and got Hill in the 1st, that would be dangerous. Oh my god.
Well, if I keep Metcalf, I could draft Russell Wilson.
You
That
could.
wouldn't be terrible.
I think that I like Kyler Murray and Hopkins. I think that is just absolutely dangerous.
I think the Cardinals are a sleeper team this year. Watch out for them.
If I could pick any quarterback, wide receiver duo, it would be David Pemberton in Backyard Football as all-time quarterback, and Tim Jett out of the slot.
That makes sense. He was a PPR machine back there. Well, right on, gents. Thank you for your time, and we'll come back with more episodes of Fantasy Football as Justin comes down to Austin, Texas.